A blessed day everyone, my name is Danica Arwan from BTB Electrical Technology 3D. Together with me, Anilin Flores and Gerald Fernandez, we are from Group 5 and our topic is all about discourse ethics. Again, my name is Danica Arwan and I will be the first reporter. So first, sayings of Immanuel Kant. Experience without theory is blind, but theory without experience is mere intellectual play. Immanuel Kant is one of the most influential philosophers in the history of Western philosophy. We have here the two principles of discourse ethics aims to find ethical truths through discussion and to set the ethics of discourse. So we also have here the four governing principles of discourse ethics. First, sincerity, openness, respect, and fair self-examination. It is also aimed to discover the best argument. And then in the ideas of discourse ethics, so we have here the three. First, cognitivism. Second, justice versus good. And last, universalization. Cognitivism is the belief that logic can be applied to ethical issues. So, cognitivism focuses on how the mind receives, processes, organizes, stores, and retrievers of information. Next is justice versus good, has been equated with the living world and the imagined world. The last is universalization, means all participants in an ethical dilemma have the moral or universal duty to maintain the guiding principles set out. Classification of discourse ethics. Discourse ethics refers to a type of argument that attempts to establish normative or ethical truths by examining the presupposition of discourse. The next is moral relativism, wherein discourse ethics that for other people are right but for others are wrong. Next is it depends on your perspective or needs. Then last, societies means make their moral choices based on their unique beliefs, customs, and practices, and in fact people tend to believe that the values that exist in their own culture. So that's all for my report. The next reporter is Miss Anilin Flores.
Good day everyone, my name is Anil Flores from BTB Electrical Technology 3D. So today we will be reporting about the famous thinker of discourse ethics, Jürgen Habermas, the leading proponent of discourse ethics. Habermas discourse ethics in his attempts to explain the implication of communicative rationality in the sphere of moral insight and normative validity. Attempt to explain the universal and obligatory nature of morality. So, the criticism of discourse ethics. First, we have the critic use of discourse ethics. It is a critic of ideology in a sense that Habermas used. So, in the developed countries, that the standard of living has been raised to a so much also in the population at large that the interest for liberation of society cannot anymore immediately be expressed in the economic terms. So, alienation has lost its evident economic form as misery by Jürgen Habermas' theories and praxis. Second, we have the separation B between the center and periphery in the word system, Dazzle. In the contrast to claim of Habermas' Sahod that in the periphery life is to a much greater extent confronted with a death, and whether it is the cities or on the countryside, in the periphery the daily life is marked by poverty and lack of social right. The third one, we have the discourse ethic is much of limited validity. Then the fourth one, we have the discourse ethics is reductionist. So it is focused exclusively on the formality and ignores matters. So Habermas argued that the moral norms can only be considered universally valid if they can be submitted to a rational discourse and accepted by all the interlocutor possibly participating. So the discourse Dazzle version is the difference since he recognizes the importance matters for ethics. So the last but not the least, the fifth one, discourse ethics calls for a pragmatic analysis. So Habermas' discourse theory assumes that the specific type of validity claims one aims to justify. Cognitive goal or topic of argumentation determines the specific argumentation practices appropriate for such justification. Discourse thus call for pragmatic analysis of argumentation as a social practices.
Good day everyone, my name is Gerald Fernandez and my topic today is about benefits of discourse ethics and more. Benefits of discourse ethics: solve dilemmas by asking those involved to discuss the matter reasonably until they can find consensual and peaceful solution. Next is application of discourse ethics in talking of human lives. Communicative actions, any social interaction which is accepted uncritically by the particular populations. Discourse, any social interaction involving opposing or altering viewpoints aimed at achieving rational consensus. Discourse ethics on lying, cheating, broken promises, and stealing. Discourse theory is rational and autonomous. Some of us are afraid in negative consequences or karma, and also depends on one's perspective and needs. Discourse ethics in business. Whether at the executive of the lines management levels, business people face moral decisions that can be easily resolved with reference to a shared ethos, whether because of diversity of ethics in the organizations or its environment, or because the organization ethos is inadequate for the problem at hand. These decisions are made more common by the being norms of pluralistic business environment and require collective moral deliberations to be adequately resolved. Discourse ethics ideally. So next is discourse ethics has been activated business in two main ways concerning the roles of corporations as a whole, fighting society, level of communication within the organizations. We have the three major suggested contribution of discourse ethics. First is practical discourse. Discourse ethics is unlike all other ethical theories in that it requires actual discussions and debate or debate among those who may affected by a norm or proposal and accepts the outcome as that which is morally correct, assuming of course that the debate was sound. Next is universalization. Discourse ethics distinguish moral issues that concern everyone involved in a particular situations from ethical and pragmatic ones which are relative to particular individuals or groups. And the last one is the just, the good, and the practical. Discourse ethics is both more comprehensive in a particular sense, more practical than other ethical theories in recognizing that in the real world there are different types of issues and different perspectives from which to approach them, as well as questions of justice. They incorporates to some extent the concern of utilitarianists and consequentialists in accepting pragmatic questions that need to be settled through bargaining and even the exercise of strategic actions or the practical. That's all. Thank you.